Envision this. The sun is rising over a silent battlefield in northern Greece. Mist clings to the marshes. Broken shields lie scattered in the mud. Thousands of bodies, Romans, litter the ground. No foreign enemy did this. This was Rome, killing itself. Citizens of the same empire. Two armies once loyal to the same man have just torn each other apart in one of history's most decisive civil wars. And somewhere in the chaos, the fate of the Roman Republic is about to be decided forever. Because after this moment, Rome will never be the same again. Before we step into this turning point in history, if you enjoy deep dives into ancient battles and brutal stories, hit that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow and lets me keep making long-form content like this. To understand Philippi, you must understand the man whose death caused it, Julius Caesar. By 44 BC, Caesar wasn't just a general. He wasn't just a politician. He was something far more dangerous. He was a man who had broken the Roman system and won. After defeating rivals like Pompey the Great in a brutal civil war, Caesar took control of Rome itself. The Senate, once the beating heart of Roman politics, was now little more than a shadow. Then came the moment that terrified the elite. Caesar was declared dictator for life. To many Romans, especially the old aristocracy, this meant only one thing. Rome was no longer a republic. It was becoming a monarchy. And for a group of powerful men, that was something worth killing for. March 15th, 44th BC, the Senate House. Caesar walks in, unarmed, confident, untouchable. He had been warned. Soothsayers, dreams, friends, even his wife begged him not to go. But Caesar believed something dangerous, that he was beyond fear. He takes his seat, and then they surround him, led by men like Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus. The knives come out, one strike, then another, then dozens more. Caesar fights back at first, but then he sees Brutus, a man he trusted, a man he may have even loved like a son. And in that moment, he stops resisting. By the time it's over, Caesar has been stabbed 23 times. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Killing Caesar didn't save the Republic, it doomed it. The assassins believed they would be heroes. They believed Rome would rise up and thank them. They were wrong. Instead of celebration, Rome erupted into chaos. The people didn't see Caesar as a tyrant. They saw him as a champion of the common man. And then came the funeral. One man changed everything. Marc Anthony. Standing before the crowd, Antony delivers one of the most powerful speeches in history. He doesn't attack the conspirators directly. Instead, he shows Caesar's wounds. He reads his will, revealing Caesar left money to the people, and slowly, carefully, he turns public opinion into rage. By the end of the speech, Rome is on fire. The conspirators are forced to flee the city, and now, the men who killed Caesar are no longer saviors, they are fugitives. Brutus and Cassius flee east, to the wealthy provinces of the Roman Republic, places like Greece, Asia Minor, Syria. Here, they begin to rebuild, not as senators, but as warlords. They gather legions, they raise money. They prepare for the war they now know is coming. Back in Rome, a new power is forming. Three men, three very different personalities. Three men who will reshape history. Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, Marc Anthony, Lepidus. Together they form the second triumvirate. This is not a political alliance. This is a legalized dictatorship. To fund their war, they do something terrifying. They publish lists, names of enemies of the state. Anyone on the list can be killed, their property seized, their families destroyed. Thousands die. Even great figures like Cicero are hunted down and executed. Rome is no longer pretending to be a republic. It is openly devouring itself. By 42 BC, the stage is set. Two sides, the liberators, Brutus and Cassius, control the eastern provinces. They have massive financial resources and veteran legions. The triumvirs, Octavian and Antony, control Rome and the west. They have a larger manpower pool and political legitimacy. Both sides know This will not be a small conflict. This will decide the future of Rome. The battlefield, Philippi, located in northern Greece, strategically vital. It sits along the Via Egnatia, the main road connecting east and west. Control Philippi, and you control movement across the empire. Two Roman armies, both convinced they are fighting for Rome's future, are about to collide. And when they do, the Republic will not survive. The year is 42 BC. The Roman world has split into two armed camps. On one side, the men who killed Julius Caesar, fighting to preserve the Republic. On the other, the heirs of Caesar, fighting to avenge him and claim his legacy. This is not just a war. This is a reckoning. And both sides are bringing something terrifying to the battlefield. Veteran Roman legions, trained to kill Romans. Leading the liberators are Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus. These are not amateurs. Cassius is the more experienced commander, hardened, practical, cautious. Brutus is idealistic, philosophical, respected, but less aggressive. And this difference will matter. Historians estimate 1719 legions, roughly 80,000, 90,000 infantry, and 17,000 cavalry. These are not raw recruits. Many are veterans of earlier civil wars, eastern provincial troops, and allied forces from client kingdoms. Roman legionaries, heavy infantry equipped with gladius, short sword, pilum, throwing spear, scutum, large shield. Cavalry, critical for flanking and pursuit, and stronger on the liberator side than many expect. Auxiliaries, archers from the east, light infantry, and slingers. On paper, Brutus and Cassius may actually have the better position, but war isn't fought on paper. Opposing them are Marc Anthony and Octavian. This is a fascinating pairing. Antony is the real military brain, experienced, aggressive, brilliant in the field. Octavian, young, sickly, inexperienced, but politically dangerous. And most importantly, he is Caesar's heir. Estimates suggest 19 legions, about 90,000 to 100,000 infantry, and 13,000 cavalry. Their troops include veterans of Caesar's campaigns, battle-hardened professionals, highly loyal units. These men aren't just fighting for victory, they're fighting for revenge, for Caesar, and that emotional edge can turn ordinary soldiers into unstoppable ones. Let's talk terrain, because Philippi isn't just a random field, it's a tactical puzzle. The Battle of Philippi was a pivotal moment in Roman history. Let's explore its strategic decisions and key moments. The Via Egnatia, a major Roman road, cut through the battlefield. It was essential for supply and movement. To the south, marshes presented difficult terrain. They limited movement and were dangerous for large formations. The hills to the north offered defensive high ground. These were controlled by Brutus and Cassius. The liberators, Brutus and Cassius, held the high ground. Their position was strong, well supplied from the east. The triumvirs, Antony and Octavian, were forced to attack. With limited supplies, they needed a decisive victory quickly. This was critical. Brutus and Cassius didn't need to win. They just needed to wait. Cassius understood the situation perfectly. His plan was simple: avoid open battle, starve the enemy, and use their superior position. It was a smart, patient, and effective strategy. But Brutus disagreed. He believed their troops were eager to fight, and waiting could weaken morale. He thought a decisive battle would end the war quickly. So, the liberators chose to fight. That decision may have just sealed their fate. While Brutus debated strategy, Antony acted, quietly, relentlessly. Antony began building causeways and hidden paths through the marshes, a place the liberators thought was safe. His objective: outflank Cassius, break his position, and force the battle. By the time Cassius realized what was happening, it was already too late. The tension was unbearable. Two massive Roman armies faced each other across the plain. Standards raised, armor gleaming, dust rising. Both sides deployed in classic Roman style: infantry in the center, cavalry on the wings, and reserves behind. Key matchups were Antony versus Cassius in the south and Octavian versus Brutus in the north. This would not be one battle. It would be two battles happening at the same time. And when the fighting began, something completely unexpected would happen. One side would win and lose at the exact same time. Picture this, not the clash, not the charge, but the moment before it. The line stretches for miles. Tens of thousands of Roman soldiers stand shoulder to shoulder, shields overlapping, helmets catching the early light. You hear it before you see anything move. Metal shifting, leather straps tightening, men clearing their throats, some whispering prayers, others saying nothing at all, because every man here understands something deeply personal. The man he is about to kill will look exactly like him. In the front ranks, the veterans stand still. Behind them, younger soldiers shift nervously. A centurion walks the line, vine staff in hand, slamming it against shields. Hold the line. Wait for the signal. But there is no signal. Not really, because Roman battles like this don't start clean. They erupt. And when this one erupts, it doesn't follow the plan. On the northern flank, Marcus Junius Brutus makes a decision that will define the entire battle. This isn't just aggression. This is pressure. His officers are telling him the men are restless. Morale is peaking now, not later. If they wait, desertions could begin. And there's something else, something personal. Brutus knows what happens if they lose momentum. They become the hunted. It starts small, a forward movement, then faster, then the entire line surges. Before the lines meet, there's a moment of deadly precision. Thousands of pila launch into the air. These aren't just spears, they're designed to punch through shields, bend on impact, and make shields useless. Imagine holding your shield, and suddenly a heavy iron spike is stuck in it, dragging it down. Now you can't defend, now you're exposed. Octavian's front line begins to lose cohesion. Then it hits. Shield meets shield with a deep, concussive thud. Not a clang, not a clash, a heavy, crushing impact. Men are shoved backward. The first few seconds decide everything. If the line holds, you fight. If it breaks, you die. This is where Roman training shows. No wild swings, no dramatic duels, just short stabs to the abdomen, upward thrusts under the ribs, quick withdrawals. Efficient, brutal, repetitive. And Octavian's line is already starting to give. What looks like a small gap becomes a problem. Then, a collapse. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens like this. One unit steps back. The unit next to it loses alignment. A gap opens. Enemy soldiers pour in. Once that happens, the formation is no longer a formation. It's a crowd. Brutus doesn't stop at pushing the line. He drives straight for the camp. Why? Because in Roman warfare, taking the camp means psychological destruction. It means supplies gone, safety gone, retreat gone. Octavian is nowhere to be found. Let's slow this moment down. He was sick, likely true. He may have been moved before the battle, or he may have withdrawn early. Regardless, to the soldiers, it looks like abandonment. Morale collapses faster, because Roman soldiers fight for their unit, their commander. And if the commander is gone, so is confidence. At this moment, Brutus has completely shattered one half of the enemy army. Now we shift. Same battlefield. Different story. Marc Anthony has been preparing for this moment for days. This is the part most people miss. Anthony didn't just flank, he built the flank, raised causeways over marshland, created hidden approach routes, and moved troops quietly into position. This is Roman warfare at its highest level: engineering, timing, and aggression. Cassius's flank is hit from an unexpected direction, and unlike Brutus's charge, this one is precise. Gaius Cassius Longinus reacts quickly, but not quickly enough. Here's the real issue. Cassius can't see the battlefield clearly. Dust clouds block vision. Messengers are delayed, and orders arrive too late. So what happens? Each unit starts fighting its own battle. Coordination disappears. And once coordination is gone, Roman armies fall apart. And now, the exact same thing that happened to Octavian is happening to Cassius. This moment deserves time, because it's one of the most important in the entire war. Cassius retreats to high ground. He scans the battlefield, but all he sees is chaos. Smoke, dust, men running. He doesn't see Brutus winning. He doesn't see Octavian's army collapsing. Imagine being in that position. You believe your army is destroyed, your ally is defeated, the war is over, and you have seconds to decide. He chooses death. He orders his servant to hold the sword. He throws himself onto it. And just like that, the man who helped kill Julius Caesar is gone. Now zoom out. Look at the battlefield as a whole. North, Brutus wins. Octavian loses. South, Antony wins. Cassius dies. Both sides are victorious, defeated, bleeding, confused, at the exact same time. But here's the truth that decides everything. Only one side lost its best strategist. The battlefield doesn't reset. It rots. Bodies remain where they fell. Broken shields sink into the mud. Wounded men lie between the lines calling out, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days, and both armies can hear them. On one side, Marcus Junius Brutus, now carrying the entire weight of the liberator cause. On the other, Marc Anthony and Octavian. After the first battle, something subtle but critical changes. Before, two leaders, Brutus and Cassius, balanced each other, one cautious, one idealistic. Now, only Brutus remains, and he is forced to be both men at once. And when a commander starts fighting two battles, one against the enemy and one inside his own mind, he usually loses both. This phase is often skipped, but it's where the outcome is decided. Brutus still holds elevated terrain, strong defensive fortifications, and access to eastern supply lines. From a purely strategic standpoint, he is still in a position to win. Cassius would have refused battle, forced Antony to attack uphill, let hunger and supply shortages weaken the triumvirs. This is textbook Roman strategy. But Brutus isn't Cassius. Brutus is dealing with something Cassius managed better: human emotion inside the ranks. Roman soldiers aren't passive. They're not just waiting for orders. They talk, argue, demand action. And now they're saying, we already beat them once. Why are we waiting? Let us finish this. And this is where discipline begins to crack. Not in the line, but in the will to hold the line. Marc Anthony understands exactly what's happening, and he exploits it. This is not a dramatic attack, it's methodical. Antony begins to extend his lines outward, threaten Brutus's flank positions, cut off access to key supply routes, push closer day by day. Not to destroy Brutus immediately, but to force him into a bad decision, because Antony knows Brutus is no longer commanding freely. He's reacting to pressure from the enemy, from his officers, from his soldiers, and eventually that pressure becomes unbearable. Late October, 42 BC. The lines form again. This time, the energy is different. There's no anticipation, no confidence, just exhaustion and inevitability. The men move slower now. Armor is dented, shields are scarred, faces are hollow. Some soldiers recognize the men across from them. They fought them days ago. Brutus's army, infantry center stretched thin, cavalry reduced after earlier losses, morale uneven. Antony and Octavian, more cohesive command, better coordination between wings, increased aggression. First battle, both sides reacting. Second battle, Antony dictating everything. And when one side controls the pace of battle, they usually control the outcome too. This time the battle doesn't erupt, it grinds into motion. Instead of a sudden charge, skirmishers engage first. Light troops probe weaknesses, lines slowly close distance. Then the heavy infantry commits. The impact is slower, but heavier, because both sides are exhausted. Men don't surge forward. They lean into each other, pushing, straining, trying to break the other line through sheer force. First battle, fast, aggressive, chaotic. Second battle, slower, dirtier, more desperate. And this time there's no clean breakthrough, only pressure, constant crushing pressure. Here's where everything unravels. Multiple things hit at once. Units fail to stay aligned. Communication breaks down again. Fatigue sets in hard. Officers can't maintain order. A section of Brutus's line, likely already weakened, begins to give ground. Not a full retreat, just a step back. But in Roman warfare, that step back is everything. Neighboring units adjust, gaps form. Antony's troops exploit immediately. Now enemy soldiers are inside the formation, attacking from angles, breaking cohesion. And once Roman discipline collapses, the army stops being an army. There's a difference between retreat and rout, and we're about to see it. At first, Brutus's men try to fall back in order, shields still up, units still somewhat intact. Then something snaps. Maybe a commander falls, a unit panics, a rumor spreads, and suddenly men turn and run. Just like in the first battle, the camp becomes the target. And once it's taken, the psychological damage is complete. Now this isn't a battle anymore, it's a hunt. Marcus Junius Brutus escapes with a small group. They move into rough terrain, trying to regroup, trying to think, trying to survive. Brutus finally sees the full picture. The army is gone. The cause is finished. There is no recovery. He gathers his closest companions. Some refuse to help him die. Others agree. Capture means humiliation, or worse. Brutus falls on his sword, just like Cassius. Think about this. The two men who struck Caesar down die the same way in the war their actions created. And with that, the Republic loses its last defenders. Let's zoom out. Estimates: 40,000, 50,000 dead combined, possibly more wounded or missing. These aren't just numbers. These are veteran legionaries, experienced officers, and the backbone of Rome's military, gone. This isn't a victory over an external enemy. This is the Roman system destroying itself from within. Philippi didn't just end a war, it ended an idea. The battlefield is quiet, not peaceful, empty. Smoke drifts over the plain, armor lies scattered. Standards are planted in the dirt beside lifeless hands. Tens of thousands of Romans, gone. For the first time in generations, there is no organized resistance left, no rival army, no competing vision for Rome. With the deaths of Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus, the Republic has effectively died with them. This wasn't just a military defeat, it was the elimination of an entire political idea, that Rome should be governed by the Senate, that no one man should hold absolute power. But here's the twist most people don't expect. The men who just won this war are about to turn on each other. Victory doesn't bring unity, it brings negotiation. The remaining power now sits with three men: Marc Anthony, Octavian, Lepidus. They divide Rome's territories like spoils of war: Antony the east, Octavian the west, Lepidus, Africa. This isn't a stable system. It's three rulers sharing one empire. And history tells us that never lasts, because one of these men is already planning to take everything. Let's talk about the most underestimated figure in this entire story: Octavian. At Philippi, Octavian wasn't the strongest general, he wasn't the most respected commander, but he had something far more dangerous: patience, political instinct, absolute ruthlessness. Back in the West, Octavian begins, rewarding loyal veterans with land, eliminating political rivals quietly, building loyalty among the legions. He doesn't try to dominate immediately. He builds power slowly, silently. While Antony is chasing glory in the east, Octavian is building something much more powerful: control. Meanwhile, Marc Antony heads east. His goal: secure Rome's eastern territories, gather wealth, maintain military dominance. Enter Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra form a political alliance, a military partnership, and eventually, a personal relationship. Back in Rome, this looks dangerous. A Roman leader aligning with a foreign queen, wealth flowing away from Rome, loyalty becoming questionable. And Octavian sees an opportunity he's been waiting for. Octavian doesn't attack Antony with armies, not yet. He attacks him with words. Octavian spreads a narrative. Antony has abandoned Roman values, he is controlled by Cleopatra, he plans to move power to Egypt. The goal: turn Rome against Antony, make him an enemy, without firing a single sword. Romans fear kings, they fear foreign influence, and Octavian plays directly into that fear. By the time the next war begins, Antony isn't just fighting Octavian, he's fighting public opinion. The tension finally explodes. 31 BC, naval battle at Battle of Actium. The sides, Octavian, led by Agrippa, Antony and Cleopatra. What happens? Antony's fleet struggles, Cleopatra withdraws, Antony follows, and just like that, the battle is lost. Result, Antony and Cleopatra flee to Egypt. But Octavian doesn't stop, because this war ends only one way. Octavian invades Egypt. Final moments. Marc Anthony takes his own life. Cleopatra follows soon after. Just like Brutus, Cassius, the last rivals of Octavian, all die by their own hands. And now, there is only one man left. Octavian returns to Rome, the masterstroke. He doesn't declare himself king, he does something smarter. The illusion keeps the Senate, keeps traditional titles, pretends the Republic still exists. Reality, he controls the army, he controls the money, he controls the state. He becomes Augustus, Rome's first emperor. And just like that, the Republic is gone, not destroyed in one moment, but replaced. The effects of Philippi echo for centuries. What changes? End of the Roman Republic, beginning of the Roman Empire. Centralized power under one ruler. Military impact. Armies become loyal to emperors, not the state. Civil wars become more common. Global impact. The Roman Empire will now dominate the Mediterranean, shape Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Influence law, culture, and governance for thousands of years. And it all traces back to one battlefield in northern Greece. The Battle of Philippi wasn't just a clash of armies. It was the final chapter of a system that had ruled Rome for centuries. A system built on balance, debate, and shared power. And in its place rose something new, an empire, ruled not by many, but by one. So here's the question for you. Do you think the Roman Republic was doomed the moment Caesar crossed the Rubicon, or did it truly die here at Philippi? Thank you for joining us. We will see you in the next one.